Hello everyone, today we are looking at a real FE exam problem from structures. Which influence line diagram accurately corresponds to truss member U2U3 depicted here? We have four options and these are influence lines. And then we have a truss diagram. We have a pin joint on the left and a roller joint on the right. First, we need to understand that an influence line shows us how a load is moving across the member. The critical action happens when this load hovers directly below U2, U3. Imagine the weight pressing down right at the heart of this member. Now, examining our options, we seek the diagram with a significant peak where U2, U3 would feel this pressure the most. This approach guides us to pinpoint the exact diagram that mirrors this behavior. Let's pick the right one and nail this problem. In a way, you can say that the influence line would be proportional to the internal force that exists in U2 and U3. So we just need to understand that when the point load is going across this beam, which points would create the maximum and the minimum amount of force on U2 and U3. For example, assume the point load at L0. That's exactly where the pin support is located. All the force that is being directed at this point will be directly transferring into the support and the reaction will be exactly below the support. That means there will be no influence on U2 and U3. So that's the reason if you see all the options on both the sides, they're all 0. Okay. Now if the member keeps moving and it is directly below U1, that's when a little bit of force will start getting transferred into U2, U3 through L1 and U2. Okay, that means there'll be a little bit of load acting over here. So the amount of influence has slightly increased more than 0. So it will be like this. Okay, it will be a small ramp, a descending ramp like this. So that is close to option A and option B as well. Option C and option D can be discarded because they are in both these options. Influence line is going in the ascending ramp, which is opposite of what we are looking at. So as you take the point load to U2, that's when the influence has increased even further because the point load is here. That means there is force directly transferring from L2 to U2 and L2 to U3 as well. So this is definitely more than what we experienced at L1. So at this point, this ramp has descended even further, going all the way to L2. That means the influence has increased quite a bit. Okay, but if you look at option A, here the influence already started reducing as you went to L2, which is definitely not the right answer. So if you take this point out further between L2 and L3, so it is safe to assume that all this, from the point load perspective, the influence has to either keep increasing or has to remain the same as L2. But there is no way it will be reducing because when a point load is right here, both the joints L2 and L3 will be transferring load to U2 and U3, creating very high internal force, which is also directly in harmony with option B. Whereas option A, option C and option D don't correspond to this internal force at all. So that's why option B is your right answer. If this question comes in your exam, try to use this logic and solve the problem. Ciao.